Okay. So,
Um,
how's everyone doing? Without us even realizing, we're finished with all of our summatives and starting the new term in front of us. During these past couple of weeks, there's so many things that have happened within our community and the whole world. And this month's topic is quite interesting and very applicable during these recent times and events that are happening in the world. However, before we get started, today's podcast host is Keenan and Nicole, just me. And we also have Faith and Cindy with us today.
all right. Also, before we start, just like usual, you guys can interact with us on our social media. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, all under the at Voice Espaha. That's VOICESPH. And look out for our monthly questionnaires, comment stories that we will be posting up on our Instagram story for next month's topic. Or if you really want to stay anonymous, forms are up on our Instagram's bio.
Okay. Surprisingly, since we're on the topic of social media, this month's topic is social media specifically on how it is used in sharing content, which can be both for awareness and or more sensitive topics. Social media is a common platform that most of us have and use on a daily basis to catch up with the world around us, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. So, leading up to our first question is, what is social like? What social media do you use to learn more about worldview, like the worldwide issues, like protests, petitions, campaigns? Anyone
Like,
wants to
well,
take the
let's
mic?
just start with what social media you use. Everyone,
Okay.
you
I
mostly use, I
use
guess.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say they're the big three.
they're
How about you,
victory.
Faye? Yeah, big three are like Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess majority of us have like, at least an Instagram or like at least I wouldn't consider this a social media, but probably like YouTube or like other platforms like probably Twitter or something like that. But usually like people think like social media is like Instagram or like Twitter or around those lines, I guess.
Mm. Do you not use TikTok?
It's not because I don't like TikTok or anything. I think it's a great platform and everything. I guess like I'm just not on social media often. Like if I have an Instagram account, but when I open my Instagram account, it's like once a month,
Really?
and that's
Oh,
pretty
really?
rare.
That's so rare.
Yeah,
That's
Usually,
yeah.
that's
yeah,
crazy, actually.
it's crazy
Mm.
actually. Yeah. How about Cindy?
Yeah, how about
I
you?
use all three. Wait, I use Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and yeah, that's those three. I don't use TikTok because I don't. I deleted my account last year.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I can see
So,
that.
okay. Okay. How are you, Keenan?
I
Like
mean, yeah,
within
big
what would you
three.
say? Like the one you use the most?
I would say the one I use the most is probably out of the three that I said, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, probably more on it's either YouTube or TikTok recently. I
Yeah.
haven't been checking Instagram much. It's like there's
Mhm.
nothing now.
So why do you use
Updates on the
TikTok?
world and all you can find on TikTok
Okay, why?
or YouTube.
Why
Sorry.
why do you use TikTok or YouTube?
I don't know. It's just Instagram has gotten really boring the past couple of years. Right?
Yeah.
It's just stories, posts, not much. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any like platform you avoid?
Twitter. Actually, I have a
Twitter?
Twitter account. I do check it like once in a while. So like I'm kind of surprised Faith and Cindy uses Twitter.
I mean,
I
I
use it
don't
once
use
in a
it
while,
that
but
I don't have
often, but
Twitter
like,
actually. I often look at Twitter though.
really?
wait, what?
You
Wait,
can just
what
open
do you mean?
Twitter. Like you can look at Twitter without having an account. Like you see a post, but you can like you don't have to use an
Oh,
account.
okay,
So
okay.
like I just kind of like it's not that I don't know what Twitter has or anything. Like it's always like there's something trending on Twitter. It's always like something worldwide. So it's like I guess if
True.
you find something on Twitter, you can find somewhere else because Twitter is like now kind of a big platform. Like Instagram, people don't really care anymore as now like Twitter or TikTok. Like they're the two things that I usually see when they think of like news, like pop culture news, I guess. That's what I'm trying to present.
Mhm. Yeah. I guess like one big thing about Twitter is that big people in the government use it, especially like in like
US
other
politics?
countries. Like yeah, for the
Yeah.
US back then, like Donald Trump used to use Twitter a lot, right? And so you get like major updates first person, like first hand. I mean,
Yeah, and I guess like I don't know whether they are dead social media platforms. I guess like Facebook and Snapchat, they're kind of dead now to a certain degree
Mhm.
because nobody kind of like knows Snapchat anymore. It's not people don't know, it's more like they just don't care as much as they used to be. And like Facebook, I guess it's a more older generation platform compared to like us in like I guess high school or like still young adults. We look at TikTok and Twitter more, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so you say social media is like for pop culture, right? So, how about like the recent events or like any like like worldwide issues? Like, what's the recent one you actually learned from social media? Because I know that I've seen a few like issues presented on like TikTok, Instagram, and stuff
Yeah. Obviously now, like right now, a lot about the war on
about
Ukraine
the
and
Ukraine.
Russia.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess like
Yeah.
everybody was surprised, but at the same time, they kind of knew that was gonna happen at some point. Like they knew, but they kind of just didn't want to expect it to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to look at these videos on like the war though. Like for example, on TikTok, you know how we haven't had a war in a long time. So like when we look at old wars, we have like really bad quality, right? Bad quality like recordings, I guess. And like just the other day, I just saw like a video on TikTok, like checking what Putin did to my hometown, like, and that's like real. It was recorded in like very high quality, and that's new.
like okay, so we know like the Ukraine war thing is very like sensitive. So, although we use social media, like, is there some things you avoid to do when looking at these media? Because I feel like some of these media, they take it like a little bit too far with their jokes and everything.
Yeah,
The war now is kind of not, they don't, people don't really take it seriously. They just make a joke out of it. I don't know.
yeah.
What are some things maybe you avoid doing when you learn about these stuff?
I would say like the main thing I avoid, like just it's just one thing actually. One thing I avoid when it comes to like sensitive topics, it's just I don't respond to it. You know, some people respond to it like with a video, right? Like they give their opinions and all, but you get so much hate off of that, and it's like everyone has different views and all. So I think it's just better if you just stay quiet.
Not engaging.
Yeah, just not
Yeah.
engaging on social media. I guess if you want to talk about it with
Yeah.
your friends, go ahead. It's
You
fine.
don't like comment, you don't post about it, just receive it.
Yeah, the netizen be wildin'.
How about you, Faith or Cindy?
Wait, you want to go first? Or
Sure. I guess like in terms of sensitive topic, like I guess we all receive it, and like sometimes I guess sometimes these sensitive topics could be like I guess fake news or like I guess rumors to a certain extent that are quite I guess not the best news, like I guess cheating news or like I guess not the best news like in general. I guess we should take it with a grain of salt because not everything we see should be taken like seriously. And like sometimes people just want to put their opinion out there so they feel validated in the situation. They feel like they have to participate in order to be in the situation. And so it usually ends up into something hateful, or it could be something good, but in the recent past days or years, it's been it's been usually people who do that receive a lot of hate in terms of it, and we should take a grain of salt when it comes to like reading news, especially about things that we don't know in full context, or like in full spread perspective, because I guess within one's perspective could be different from our perspective, and so we should I guess be more empathetic towards other people, but that doesn't mean we should let what the wrong be the truth, and we should actually let the truth be out there. But we should take things with a grain of salt and like research on our own to know whether these things are true or not.
Yeah, for sure. Mhm.
Cindy?
Cindy, any thoughts?
I agree with what you guys said, but like you know how people take sides, like for example, the Ukrainian and Russia, the war. You know how they're like, oh, I'm on Russia's side. Oh, I'm on the Ukraine side, and those kind of things. Like it's not bad, if you want to take, if you want to choose a side, but like oftentimes it's kind of like irrelevant. Like sometimes you don't know what's really going on, and you're blaming it on the other side, and then like sometimes it's better for you, like what Tina said, to stay quiet and like just to like do a deeper research, I guess, on the topic. But like, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like what I mainly do to avoid is I just avoid believing what I see in the first glance. You feel me?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
do you
yeah.
remember like
I
the
feel like
whole like US election and like
mm,
all the protests that happened?
uh, I feel like most videos on the internet is like not they never show like the backstory or like what happens before
Yeah,
that.
that's
They
to
just show like
mislead.
Yeah.
That's to
the
mislead.
really
Yeah.
ugly like scenes only.
I
They
feel
only give
like
like
they
the ugly.
purposely do that though, because some
Yeah, I
teenagers
guess
are
like
like
most of the
gullible now.
they're trying to do.
So like
But yeah,
what we can do is like not straight away believe it and actually
just
do
can't
deeper
trust anything.
research. Yeah. So okay, while we're at it, how do you think we should respond to these sensitive issues? Like, let's say we already like did research on what actually happened.
I think that I'm gonna stick to what I said earlier. Like especially as students, we're supposed to be aware of what's happening in the world. I think that's very ideal, but staying quiet is also ideal. I don't think it's worth it to even like just respond because there will always be someone who's opposing your opinion. Anyone
But how
else?
about you, Nicole?
How would I respond?
Yeah.
I would honestly, um, I guess like come to my own conclusion, but I wouldn't put it out in social media, just because people can twist every little thing you say, and I feel like it's better to
Yeah.
stay quiet in social media. But I
Yeah, I
guess like
agree.
to respond, like, I don't know, like let's say it's about like a protest and I did my research already and I like know which, like maybe I support someone, like some one of the party. Yeah, I guess like I would like try to, I don't want to say donate, but people like likes to donate, right? I guess you can do that. But I don't know. Since I'm not really like passionate about global issues, I wouldn't just blindly donate to
Mm,
a party here. I don't know.
yeah. Speaking of donations, have you guys heard of the well, this is another world issue. It's like basically hunger, right? You guys ever heard of the
Oh, world
time when
hunger.
Elon Musk donated six
Elon
billion
The
Musk.
dollars?
Oh
Yeah, that's
yeah,
like
the
yeah.
what?
a few months ago. Like he basically the UN they posted like a thread, right, online.
Mhm.
They said that $6 billion or 6.6 to be exact is enough to end world hunger. And Elon Musk, right? He's like, I think he is the richest guy on earth at the moment. Like
Is he?
obviously his like net worth is like much more than $6 billion. He said he was willing to pay or donate $6 billion to end world
Stop.
hunger.
He's not
Everyone thought he
willing.
was joking, but he actually did it.
Oh,
It's
he's
crazy.
willing. Did he
Yeah,
actually
he
do it?
no, yeah, he did it. He tweeted, if I believe it's he said if they release like what they're gonna do with the money, like if it's transparent, like the bills and all, he'll actually donate. And he actually did donate, but haven't
Wait.
heard of that in a while.
Do you think he do you think he like donated all that money because he wanted like people to notice him, or do you think it's just like he was
No, no,
genuine about it?
no. I'm a really big fan of Elon Musk. Like I admire him honestly, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't think he did it for like attention. Is that what you're saying? So like people like have a
Yeah.
good connotation on him.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like Albert Einstein in the flesh, like in our generation. Like, he's like, yeah.
Do you guys remember the bullying issue on Instagram? It was like Save Audrey, but turns out like it was all fake. It was all curated.
I've never heard of that
Yeah.
actually.
It was like basically she posted, she said she got bullied and like she got assaulted, but then turns out like it's all fake. And like she even got like a bunch of petitions to like donations. Not sure, but I think that's like one thing that kind of shows what social media does to readers. Like they see one thing, they blindly believe it, and turns out it's all fake.
It's all fake. I mean, the people do nowadays for attention. It's
So like, how do we
crazy.
even know, like what's real and what's not on social
Yeah,
media? That's a
it's
hard
like
thing.
it takes like maybe not skill. I mean, I could say skill. Yeah. Like it takes a
Oh.
specific skill to it takes a specific skill. Not saying that I have it, but like it takes a specific skill to differentiate fake things and real things on the internet. Because I really think it's hard.
I don't necessarily think it's skill. I think it's just we have to
Deep research.
we have to like be open to other sources, not just like mainly on social media. Because social media is so twisted these days,
Yeah.
like what, and also like the bunch, like all those algorithms and like those recommended page. So like your recommended page would be really different with mine. So imagine if
Yeah.
like one supporter of something else and a different one. So I guess that kind of like builds on to I don't know, bias.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
What else
I
there?
guess it's hard because like I've recently like watched these like story, like I guess I would call them tea stories because they try to spill like the hot stuff on like social media, specifically on TikTok. I think recently I've like heard about like I think she's famous, but the vegan teacher, and
Oh yeah,
also
yeah.
and,
I know
and there's
all about her.
also and there's also like I don't know the TikToker's name. However, she was like famous for faking Tourette symptom, Tourette symptoms. Like
Syndrome.
Oh, that girl.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
Wait,
yeah,
who's
because
that? I don't know.
Oh, you
yeah,
don't know Tourette's?
But I mean, like who? I know what Tourette's
Oh,
syndrome.
okay, go on, go
I
on.
don't specifically know the TikToker, but she's pretty famous. She has like green dyed hair, if I'm not wrong. She has like glasses or something. And a person on YouTube actually reacted to her filming
Oh,
her ticks, and they were quite actually they look quite suspicious by eye actually. They look quite timed instead of like because ticks are not supposed to be like timed. They're quite they're unexpected, and some people have it worse than others, some people don't. So I guess being careful with people who try to pose with mental illness. Well, I guess it's not a mental illness, but they try to use that I guess illness to get attention and sympathy from the people, but in true actual reality they're just using it for publicity most of the time.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are like that nowadays. Like they would
Those
do
like
almost anything nowadays. Sorry?
those when parents like send you in like WhatsApp group chats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like okay, sometimes the stuff they send is really like one-sided, right?
Yeah, yeah. Are you talking about like
How like
Apple?
not hoax. Yeah. Maybe hoax. I think even then like sometimes the news they watch is questionable in my opinion. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like what advice can we even give to our friends and family when they read about news?
What advice can you
Can
give
we
to your
give
friends and
them? Yeah, when they're reading news.
family? I mean, honestly, if I could give advice, I would give it to my dad, maybe. I think he's very gullible to like news. He like likes to
Gullible.
send random news, right? I feel like all
Yeah,
parents do that.
yeah.
Nearly all parents do that. And a lot of them are like very gullible because like I just have a feeling they don't know how the world works now. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
disrespectful. They
Because
put longer.
it's like
yeah.
all technological.
Yeah, we live in a different generation. So like
Mhm.
I would just say don't be too gullible. Because sometimes
Mm.
the things he sends or like my parents send, it really doesn't make sense to me at least.
Yeah. So I think like in conclusion, just don't believe it right away.
Mhm.
You have to doubt it. Not doubt it, but
I mean, not doubt,
like
but
just like question it, like is it
be
really.
proactive.
Yeah.
Proactive,
Be
yeah.
conscious
Type
about
either
it.
in your profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Is there
think
anything
also like
else?
our grandparents, I think they're also quite gullible due to the
Oh
fact
my
like
God.
the
Don't even get me
oldest
started.
the oldest generation who's trying to use technology. Not saying that all grandparents are like that. I think they're smart ones and know how to use technology to the best of their abilities. But sometimes like they're quite gullible and like looking at information.
With our grandparents, like with news and like world issues, I feel like they were too used to receiving information about global issues on the TV. And back then, like the news can be really propagated and they wouldn't know. So I feel
Yeah.
like the reason why they blindly believe in a lot of like these issues they see right away is it's because of that. But
Yeah.
well, I guess you can just tell them, don't be gullible.
Yeah. I mean, it's just mostly generation difference.
Yeah, that's what I think too. The social media is it's so advanced, like you can literally send anything within seconds. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's hard it's gonna be harder for future generations to filter what actually the truth is. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
guess because our generation's, I guess, a bit more sarcastic when you come with things up. Like it's more of a joke instead of actually being like serious. Like although we're being serious, sometimes it's sarcastic, and also probably how do I say this? We have a lot of slangs that they also don't understand. So I guess that's why news can be very difficult for them to process and receive towards
yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Okay. So I guess through today's podcast, we learned new and different approaches when it comes to receiving information on social media, which mainly is don't be gullible, I guess. So we hope that through this you're able to learn also with us. So wherever you guys are, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to today's podcast as the world starts to open up. We hope that we can get back to normal school, and we also hope that with this current situation in Ukraine and other global issues, we also bring well wishes and pray for hope and peace and the war for everyone, Ukraine and any conflict right now.
Yep. And also before we end the podcast, make sure once again I'm gonna remind you to follow our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and our Spotify as well. That's all under Voice Espah. That's VoiceSph. And always be ready for updates. We post podcasts every month, and you know you blink and you might just miss them. For now, this is it, and I guess it's time to say goodbye. See you all in the next podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.